the lives.
Yes. We've got multiple cameras in this room. So good. I'm so glad you're here today, Joy.
Yes, thank you so much.
We are going to do an interview because this woman has been rocked by an exciting new thing called the Emotion Code this year. I've gotten a front row seat, and we wanted to share this experience, right? Just by like going question by question. So we want to invite you in to hear an amazing testimony, amazing journey that you've had. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so grateful. So thanks for joining us today. If you haven't heard of the Emotion Code, this is going to be a great step-by-step. What on earth is that? How can it affect your life or those that you love and know? That kind of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
I'm excited because my journey, and we've got multiple cameras here. So we've got some of my personal people on my personal page following. If you've been following my journey, then you already know that things are way different than they once were. But Juliana's probably going to dig a little deeper there.
It's true. So good. So we'll just start like this time last year. Where were you? Could you set the scene for us? What was happening?
Oh, girl. So
we'll just start a year ago.
That's right. Because, so just over a year ago this time, around this time, I had been for months desperately asking God, petitioning with God to help me out of where I was. Mm-hmm. So brief is that I was freshly divorced, 3 little kids that I was already homeschooling, working 4 jobs just to try to make things happen. And I had a lot of PTSD. I had worked so hard for years. I mean, like at least more than 5 years really on just my mental state, my mindset. I had done so much healing already, but there was like a wall there. And I was still having these like impulsive out of body experiences where I was just like, triggered by certain things. And it was like, I couldn't break through to the other side of who I knew I was. Mm-hmm. And so, I was just like, I had been asking God for like a few months. Oh my, like, I know there's an easier way. I know it's there. I don't know what it is yet, but I know it's there. And someone told me, actually my therapist told me about Emotion Code, and she told me about Juliana. And she's like, you've got to try this. So a licensed professional sent me to Juliana to get this work done. And I hung up the phone with my counselor, and I immediately made my first appointment with Juliana. And that was a year ago today. Mm-hmm.
It really was. It's just amazing. Mm-hmm. So then we started doing the Emotion Code. It's this alternative therapy, right? We release trapped emotions and imbalances from the body. And what was that like for you when you first, like, were you nervous, or what were you thinking as you started that journey?
Yeah, well, when my therapist told me about it, and she's like, you just get those emotions cleared. And I was like, wait, for good? Like, you don't, because I've been coming to your couch week after week, cycling over the same stuff over and over, and I can't imagine not doing that. I've been dealing with the same issue since I was like 15. And she's like, no, it's like for good. So she had tried this. So when I went to my first session, I had no idea what it was. When she told me about it, I was like, this is the thing God has, I've been asking God for, and it's right here. And I don't understand. I don't have the luxury to understand. That's kind of where I was. Yeah. So when I got to my first session, I had no expectation whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm down for this thing, like whatever. I don't know how it's going to go. And it was really strange. The first session, I was like, okay, like something happened today. Yeah. But I can't place it. What happened? I don't know. So I just made my second session. And, after that first session, I was like, I felt amazing. But I was, you chalk it up. You're like, oh, I got a good night's sleep a couple nights in a row. Like things feel pretty good. Externally, everything's feeling okay. Yeah.
I think this one's not going to keep going.
Instagram's off.
Go.
Instagram's a little finicky sometimes.
Yeah.
But after the second session, now I had degeneration in my neck, actually, that I was in a neck brace for, like, I didn't like to go out in public with a neck brace, but I had to sleep with a neck brace. I did not sleep for like a few months because I was just up all night, every night with this pain in my, horrible pain in my neck. The second session, you release something, and I felt something like kind of snap, like an actual, it was an audible like pop in my neck, and I was like, that's weird. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, my neck feels really good, but you know, I'm sitting down, relaxed, you know, maybe 30 minutes after the session, I was like, well, what the heck? I don't have any pain in my neck. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, I didn't wake up all night with this neck pain. It had been months since that happened, and that's when I knew. I didn't change anything. I had been to chiropractors, acupuncture, all kinds of places. And so from there on, it was like a snowball effect. It was like all these issues in my body just started to disappear session after session after session. My mindset, the way I thought about myself, the self-sabotage, you know, because you remember, like, I was like, you know, F my life and stuff. And like, there's a lot of recurring stuff like that that just started to disappear.
It was kind of back and forth. And then it was amazing hearing your entrepreneurial dreams, your bigger vision, what you've been feeding your mind. You've been renewing your mind and your mindset for so long. But it, like you said, it was like, why is there a wall? And then it just started coming apart.
Yep.
So
that's right.
So cool.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And then with your girls, did we do a little work with your daughters? And can you tell, like, my audience doesn't know your story and about your kids, so you can fill them in.
Okay. So you know, when you're doing your own thing with the energy work thing and you're having your experiences, there's a part of you that's like, is this real, right? But then I brought some stuff to Juliana about my kids, and I was like, okay, if it works for me, I really would love to see them have relief, because there were some areas where they were, for lack of a better word, being tortured, like emotionally with different things, and they were just really struggling, and I wanted to see them be free from that. And so once I kind of felt stable enough after a few sessions, I was like, I kind of want to like divert to them for a minute. And so Juliana did one session that she worked on all three of my kids, and the next day I got twin 10-year-old girls and a 6-year-old girl. The next day, one of my twins said to me, Mom, I just feel so amazing today. And I was like, well, that's great. All day long, she kept saying how good she felt, how free she felt, how amazing and she's like, I don't understand, Mom, what happened? Nothing changed.
So good.
And that's what I told her. I said, well, I actually did something for you yesterday. And I told them, and she was like, this is amazing. And everything changed from there on out. And of course, for me, it was like, well, I knew for me what my experience was, right? But then when I saw my kids, they didn't even know. And my youngest at the time was 5. No, she was 4.5. She didn't know. She didn't understand what I did, but I saw shifts in her like immediately. And I was like, okay.
There's something to this. Because they weren't even on the phone.
No,
right? Like,
no. When you said to me, oh, they don't have to be there, I was like, what kind of, like what? But
what is this that you're doing?
Yeah, but it's like a laser focused prayer that requires some skill, right? So anyone can do it, but you know, it's nice to outsource it to somebody who knows what they're doing. So
that's so awesome. I love hearing everyone again, because it was so powerful. And then it started to open up even more doors, like your dreams. Can you share a little bit where you were through the pivot of your, because you know, you're starting seeing this healing, seeing layer of, and that's the thing, when we have chronic pain, when we have issues, we're still dealing with this that's right here. We can't see a year down the road. We can't see, you know, even though we're trying to, but when did it start to shift where you're like, oh wait, I'm seeing what could be possible for me? What was that like? And tell us about your career shift.
Yes. So, because that was another area of my life that was really sore subject, right? Because I was like working 4 jobs, trying to just to put food on the table. It wasn't like I wasn't making bank, guys. So I got the body issues were there, aches and pains, lots of different body issues, and of course, like you can't focus, you can't think clearly when you're in that state. but that was, I had weekly sessions with Juliana, which was really great to have that incremented time, because there was something, I knew if I went like 8 days, by day 8, I was feeling, not that there's a dependency with this, because there isn't, but I just felt like the need to get rid of more. That's what it was. So I had weekly sessions with Juliana, and then that was it like probably less than 2 months. Okay, so less than 2 months in, I was like, okay, I'm feeling a lot better now, but also I'd like to be able to get even further with this, but if I'm going to, I need some money.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. I was like, all right, we got to shift this for a minute. I know if we work on other stuff, the body stuff is going to continue to take care of yourself. Because your body's telling you things. Like, if you're in pain, it's not because you're aging. That's not normal. It's because, well, it's normal, but it's not how it's supposed to be. It's because your body is actually trying to get stuff out. It's trying to tell you. So, yeah, absolutely. Those imbalances are there. So, about the end of January, I was like, all right, I need to shift this. So, you know, still in the new year, I never was a person that made resolutions, because I'm just like, I don't want to be disappointed. I'm not doing that. But I, about the second week of January, started thinking, what do I want? And I brought a goal to you that to me was perfect, like totally out of reach. And I was like, this is what I want to be making, and this is how many days and hours I want to work to make that kind of money.
I remember.
And at the time, I was really scared.
It did. Feel like Mount Everest.
It did. I was like, I don't think this could happen, but can you like clear some stuff so I can get to the place where this could happen?
Yeah. Huge.
So we got to work on that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And that was good. That was it was stretch, but it was so aligned with your heart. It was a heart goal. It was like what your deepest craving, and you allowed yourself, you'd taken off some layers so that you're allowed to be vulnerable and put that out there, and we started lining you up. Right. And that was like January.
And by the way, I had never really let myself want anything before.
Yeah.
So it was like the first time I was like,
I felt that.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, I think I want something, and I don't think I deserve it yet, but I'd like to clear some stuff to see if I can get there, you know?
Yeah,
so.
It's huge. Did you tell us do you mind sharing about your jobs?
Oh,
a little bit,
no.
like where you were.
Okay, yeah.
You were spinning a lot of plates. Right?
Yeah, I'm still spinning a lot of plates, but
yeah,
it looks a little different now.
Plates.
A little different now. So, so I've worked a lot of jobs, but my main thing has always been that I don't want to really work for anyone else, right?
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was doing janitorial work for a church, because that allowed me to set my own hours, because I homeschooled my kids and I wanted to keep doing that. I also a friend of mine had a business that she was helping me. She allowed me to come in. I was going into people's homes and doing like a tidy up service before the cleaning lady would get there, you know. And then I manage a band. I still do that. But then I had all kinds of little side gig jobs like dumpster diving and I delivered magazines. Like I did everything. And I had little businesses, you know, products that I had and everything.
Yeah, I should have worn your earrings today.
Oh, girl.
Oh man,
right.
I love them.
Juliana, I'll have to show them off sometime.
Yeah, she makes amazing earrings. All the things.
Yeah, all the things. So all the things were great, but it just it was like I felt like my soul was dying. Like my soul was being sucked out of me doing these things. And I know people that do those jobs and they absolutely love it. Like it's their passion. Yeah. It was not my passion. And I was just like, for 2 years, like, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing? And in the work that we did, all that started to really change. So
yeah. And it was to me, you're like a superstar mom. You're raising your 3 girls basically almost entirely on your own. I mean, from what I saw, you just seem like a superstar. Homeschooling, all the work, all these jobs, and knowing you're made for more, knowing that you have so much more to give. And I mean, you really do. If you guys have any conversation with Joy ever, you're going to get so much wisdom in a download every time. But it was awesome. So you started to see this shift. Like, when did you think, hey, maybe I could be an emotion code practitioner?
Yeah, so when I originally set my money goal and what I wanted there and how many hours I wanted to work and how many days to fit around my life, really, rather than, bless you, rather than working as your life, I wanted to live and then, you know, work to earn money.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that would look like. So before thinking about becoming an emotion code practitioner, I just had the goal, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point, you know, I kind of thought about it like, okay, energy healer, yeah, that would be really good. Emotion code, I love this. Could I do it for other people? I don't know. And so I was already thinking about it, but honestly, I didn't feel deserving of something that good.
Yeah.
I think we all really struggle with that, right?
Yeah.
And I just felt like, man, I don't know if I could really help people like that. And so that was another thing that we were working on, was like that deservingness, and then the practice itself, like getting me set up for the practice itself. And so we were working, so I guess it was another 2 months, we were working on this money stuff and vision and all of that, clearing blockages in the way to those things. And then, of course, lockdown happened.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yes. And did that give you new clarity?
It gave me, so
did it give y'all any new clarity?
I'll tell you.
Where do I want to be?
Because when all of my work, they were like, we are shutting this down right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, okay. So I got to figure something out really fast. And I already knew what I wanted, but at that point, it was like we had cleared all this stuff, and I don't know that I would have been able to make such a sound decision at such a time if it hadn't been for clearing all that stuff for those months.
Yeah.
Because I might have just shut down, because that's what I do when I get, freaked out, is I just shut down. I might have just shut down and been like, well, when's the government going to bail me out? Or when is my job going to come back? Or, somebody come say to me, look, I don't have rich parents at the moment. I didn't have anybody that was like going to do this for me. So I knew I had to make a snap decision. And when that happened, I already was prepped for that. But it's like all of my question of, am I worthy? Could I do this? Went out the window. Because sort of desperation, but also because of the cultivating that we had done for all those months.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, and that's true. Like, because otherwise, our default will be like, someone else lead me here or there. But that's the irony. Like, we have these ideas. Maybe someday I'll do this or I'll launch that. But until we've gotten through the layers of self-defeat, anxiety, fear, then we just don't, we think about it, but we don't launch it.
Yeah.
So you started launching.
Yes.
Bit by bit. But honestly, it wasn't I feel like it was more like jumping out of an airplane and being like, this is gonna work.
That's really interesting you should say that, because that's what it felt like.
Good.
Like I'm leaping out of this plane because I have no choice. I hope I have a parachute that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I hope this thing works
okay,
over here.
Good.
Exactly.
Here we go.
It was a total faith fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, though. I mean, I can really relate as for me, and I think both of us, it was like being flagged. Oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I love this. This is who I am. It's not just like a good thing. I already love to help people find the truth of who they are, find different ways to break through. And then before you know it, you're like, I can't not.
Yeah. My boats were burned for me at that point.
Yeah.
So, but again, I could have shut down, and that's probably what I would have done in the past. But yeah, I was already primed for that, because helping people is something I've always been. Energy healers don't end up being energy healers because they don't like helping people.
No, you don't do this because it's like, just to get rich or something. It's like, you do this because your heart centered. You love people first.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's it. And then what happens is added benefit is, it can be a great income, which is so good, like that positive shift, so that like you, and I've seen a few others where it's starting to, oh wow, this exceeded my past income. And do you want to share more about your year journey?
Yeah, because exceeding the income, well, first of all, there's that whole deservingness factor of, do I deserve to work doing something that helps people and also earn money for that? Because that's another block that's like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't make money doing this. You know, it's like, no, everybody deserves to be here and have their needs provided for. Okay, if you're adding value to people. So it was just, finding ways to increase my value, or I shouldn't say increase my value, tap into my value, because the value's already there. But just to tap into my value, to at least to understand to myself that no, I should be charging for what I'm doing, because this is really helping people. And this, hey, I will throw all my money at Juliana over here because she changed my life, right? So it's like, it's the value of dollars that I've given to you does not even come close to the value that you've given to me and added to my life. And I really mean that.
That's awesome to hear.
So anytime we're doing anything for people, it's like, if we're giving more than the dollar value, we can't lose. We can't lose.
That's a bigger arching principle. That's so true. And that's why I'm excited for other practitioners to watch this as well, because I know there's so many who are becoming emotion code practitioners. It can be such a scary journey. Will this work? Is this real? You go 3 layers of doubt and self-doubt, like we're talking about. Learning to trust yourself, trust God in new ways, trust your instincts, because we're muscle testing all the time. It's exciting, but and there are, I was thinking, over my journey and yours, did you have any like panic moments, or like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? Or... Of
course. That's a given.
Yeah,
is
that part of the process?
I think yes, I think it is. I think the panic, because that fear, it can do one of two things. It can either defeat us, and then we're like, oh, never mind, and we go back in our hole and we stay mediocre, or it can launch us into a new life. So that's kind of where I was at, because I was like, well, what am I going to do if I don't do this? I don't really know. And so I know there are other practitioners that have jobs, and they're like, but I don't leave my job until you got to burn the boats to take the island, right? If it's not being done for you already by default of COVID, do it somehow. Make it where it's like, it's not an option to not do it. And as far as the trust, because that's another thing you said, the trust with like, well, can I trust my muscle testing? Can I trust my body, my instincts? Yes, you absolutely can. It's a skill that we sharpen. And that was something for me. I came out of an abusive relationship, so there was always this questioning, like, oh my gosh, I can't even trust myself. I can't trust myself. It was like a recurring, like a record playing. And so just like the muscle testing over and over again, it's like it showed me that I had the instinct to know. So
and you can trust yourself, and then it's like these shock and awe moments when in the beginning, when you start seeing people, their pain level goes down, or they execute on things that they haven't been able to do for years, and you're like, wait a second, I just had like this much faith to see this through, and this much happened, and it's just when you get used to this, and this happens over and over and over again, you can't not, because you're like, if to me, and part of my process has been, if God would be doing something bigger, a new, or revealing a new way of how we can work, if there's new understanding of the body and how energy works coming out, then it's not going to look the same as things in the past, and we've got to be open to that, or be left back, in a sense, be left behind, or Because that's how all of history goes, right? Is this adapting. Have you found any resistance as you've become an energy healer? What's that been like?
Of course
I didn't even think about that question before, but this is a good one.
Okay, well, you know what? Yes, because one, I am the kind of person now that I have always made fun of, if I can just say that.
I get that.
Like,
I'm with you.
Yeah, right? Like, and that's part of it is like, gosh, man, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And it's sort of asking God, like, are you sure there's no other way I can be more socially accepted on a wider scale?
Yes.
But truth be told, I think that as leaders, we're going to find that this is going to be more socially accepted because people desire this kind of breakthrough. Even though we can't fully explain it in the metaphysical realm, or I shouldn't say metaphysical, but the
it's beyond physical.
Yeah, it's metaphysical, or the quantum physics.
Yeah,
that's
quantum physics. Yeah.
Quantum physics is not. You can't really explain. No one understands. Like, there's no time. There's no space. Like, but do we need to understand it to get results? I don't think that we do. I mean, but there is that resistance there. Like, oh my gosh, like, what's my family gonna think of me? What are my friends gonna think of me? And then seeing that some of them don't think of you very highly when you're doing that. But you know what? It's like those voices kind of go away the more that you're doing it and the more you're seeing results. So even for clients that come to us, right, and they're kind of skeptical, like, I don't know, I guess I'll try it. And then when they experience their first results, they're like, oh my gosh, this is what you were talking about. So the resistance is there only in the beginning because we're like born skeptics sometimes.
Yeah, I have
been. But
and it's funny, and we both have dug into the research and all of that. But it reminds me of, like, when you use Google or you turn the light switch on. Did you have to fully understand that before and understand all the mechanics? There's a certain degree of things that have become old hat. We just trust this. But this, I think, is that in arena of health for the whole person, for the whole body, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because we can't just work on one part and expect, why didn't that broken part just heal forever? And then it sure enough keeps going out of balance. Well, there's more than just a physicality to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, I don't understand how this video works.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of desensitized, right, by, like, everything is, we carry computers in our hands, on our wrists,
all over the place.
Yeah, and it's like, here's a video that you guys can watch live, and then you can also play it back. How does that happen? There's like some frequency going up to space and coming back down, and you're seeing it practically in real time. I cannot explain that, but that's a miracle of our modern time that is unexplainable, and yet no one questions it. So let's not question healing when it happens. Let's celebrate it.
Yeah. And I think it's funny. It's time to start questioning if our bodies are not healing, if our minds aren't healing, if the anxiety does not stop, if the depression doesn't stop, then we've got to ask bigger questions.
Yes.
It doesn't end where the medical field says we can't help you, good luck. That's not the end of the road. So many clients of ours are those people.
That's right.
Their road ended. They ran out of medical possibilities.
Yeah.
And not everybody's there yet. A lot of people have to run down every dead end before.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of that way. I feel like I was as well, as far as I tried all the things, all the mental things, all the, like, we're talking about affirmations and
law of attraction.
Yeah.
All the things.
And it wasn't working. And I'm like, okay, I guess there's something to the subconscious. So
yeah. Well, even as far as the physical stuff, like health issues, because Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, because he was he paralyzed, partially paralyzed.
Oh, yeah.
He had a spinal injury.
Yeah,
and
was.
he just like meditated did a mental rehearsal over and over again of his spine, like all the vertebrae coming back together, the nerves coming back to life. And they told him he'd never walk again. And like 6 months later, he was walking.
Yeah,
like
he's
fully
healed.
walking.
And he went on to do all his crazy active lifestyle.
I know. And that's after they told him there's no hope, wheelchair, that's it.
Yeah.
And I've had the same stuff. I mean, just full disclosure, I've had, some health issues that I was told, yeah, nothing we can really do about it, just deal with it. Severe pain in my body, no pain management, out the door, from the medical field. And I'm not to knock medical people, because I think that they just don't know all that there is to know. They have to work with what they have to work with, which is very much in a box, and so I knew I needed more. And by the way, some of those issues, like I had lumps in my breasts, remember? We worked on that for a really long time. Yeah. And they filled with fluid, and they were so painful, and it just hurt like to walk sometimes, honestly, or to go upstairs or to turn over in bed. I was plagued with that for 7 years. Tried everything. I mean, like the castor oil wraps, and I went, that's the one they told me, hey, sorry, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Diet, all kinds of different things. And do you know that 2 months ago, I noticed I don't have any pain anymore. And they're totally gone.
That's awesome.
7 years. 7 years. This is the first time you're hearing about that.
No, yeah.
They're gone, Juliana.
It's amazing, because we were chasing symptoms, and you do this, and anybody who's trying to help, you're chasing the symptoms until you see breakthrough. So
that's right.
Awesome.
It takes time. It takes time, but it's happened. Like when I came to you about that, I was like, all right, this is something I need to deal with now, because it's gone on too long.
Yeah. And it is amazing. Sometimes we see results in one session, and sometimes it takes a few months of dedicated, like, I'm going to keep showing up and believing for that healing. Because either way, we're releasing subconscious blocks. So, and those are bringing permanent releases to other areas of life. Because sometimes we're going after a physical thing, and then an emotional thing positively shifts. Oh, I'm feeling more connected with my spouse, or my kids are listening to me more. Why are they obeying more? Like these fun little shifts. It's just all connected. So what is a myth about, what is something people would tend to put on this work that you do that you wish people understood about your what you do?
Well, one, that it's a placebo, which actually I think doesn't matter if it is a placebo or if it isn't, because if it's working, that's what really matters. I think another thing is that it's pseudoscience or overly spiritual, which is funny to me, because in the West, that's how we think, is that, oh, I'm a body with a soul, possibly, maybe, a heart, a mind, and we kind of compartmentalize ourselves.
Yeah.
But actually, we're really integrated, and so it's not that it's like woo-woo out there. It's different than what you've heard of before and what you've tried before, but it's not actually unseen in the way that, you can't detect everything that's going on, but it's not unseen, because you actually get to experience benefit, even if you're a little skeptical, because it's like you said, you brought a little bit of faith, and then like all this happened for clients. That's what happens for you. So it's like all you have to do is just be a little bit open-minded to it, to just think, okay, well, you know what, I got nothing to lose at this point. I got nothing to lose, so might as well give it a shot.
Exactly. Just give it a shot. Just try it, right? Experience it firsthand.
Yeah, because there's no way you can know. You could sit and try to think through all the ins and outs and how does it actually work and what is the science behind it, but dude, you don't need to know the temperature of the pool before you jump in. Just jump in and enjoy the water. You'll figure it out once you get there. So we try to know more than we need to. Thinking we have to understand something before we can benefit from it. Again, don't really understand the benefit of this video call or how it works. but I do enjoy being able to share with you on
Yeah.
live video.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so cool. Just another one in the business as far as being a practitioner. What are 3 keys that you would give or highlight to someone who's getting started in this business, or it could be any business, but mainly emotion code? What are 3 keys to your journey so far? Because now it's your full-time work.
Oh yeah,
right?
I don't do anything else. Well,
Yeah.
I have other little pocket things, but not. This is actually my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I would say first, getting still and knowing what you want, which isn't a skill that we often have because we're so busy like trying to live up to expectations of society or of others. So definitely knowing what you want, and because if you have that, it doesn't really matter what people say or about the money. It doesn't matter if you have what you want in mind. I think the second thing is probably to trust yourself and not overthink it.
Yes, that's one of the biggest things.
That's probably
I think
like
people get hung up on.
Yeah, if you could not fail, would you be doing it? That's the key. It's like, well, if I knew that I was going to be the most amazing in the world, then I would definitely do it. Well, then start now, because you got some lessons to learn to get to that point, but you have to be able to trust yourself. Like, you don't need to. Earl Nightingale said something like, not getting started because you want, the whole, you want to see the whole path first, you want to see the end result first, is like not starting your trip until you know all the lights are going to be green. Like, you have to know all the lights are going to be green before you can get started. No, just get started. You're going to stop at a red light, it's fine. But the trust in yourself is like crucial. Not just for the muscle testing or the practice itself, because that's not all that there is, but also, yes, I can help people. Yes, I can produce money doing this. The money is already coming to me. The people are already coming to me. The needs are already coming to me. I already have what it takes to give people what they need. So you're not focused on lack. You're focused on the abundance of it.
So key.
So key. So yeah, trusting yourself, and then I would say just sleeping, because that's the big thing. Is for anything that's scary, again, you got choices. When you're afraid, you can fold under it, which we all do sometimes for a time. I do that. Or we can use the fear to fuel us and to launch us forward.
True.
So
Yeah, and that's the thing, you can't, and you find this with anything in life, as long as you're trying to get halfway into the pool, or halfway into something, it is more work trying to do something halfway than just going full on. I've learned it a little later in life, just cut all those past ties in order to go forward, and that's what you did. You just took that leap, and then it's been amazing watching it grow and watching you just not only succeed as a practitioner, but as you're adding and growing so many things to what you do. Do you want to share some of what your vision is for the year ahead? What are you thinking about?
Oh yeah, so I said before that I never made New Year's resolutions. I have a whole notebook filled with them now.
Yes, so good.
And you know what? It's okay. I'm just trying to keep in mind, because I'm the kind of person that does so much all the time, and I will create resistance where there wasn't any. And so my whole thing now is, how can I find a way to do this that there's a flow to it and I don't have to force myself, and when I feel the need to stop, I let myself and I observe. So not that I'm like trying to take over the world in a year or something, but I am giving myself permission to grow with it and to not feel like I have to have everything inside of me right now ready to go as though it's the end of 2021. No, it's going to take a whole year to get there. But for 2021, hey, listen, I actually this year, in addition to the energy healing, emotion code, I do a little bit of other energy healing in there. but also coaching with it. So like mindset coaching, super conscious coaching. And so I've been developing this program to be able to take people through, especially entrepreneurs and leaders, because I see where for leaders and entrepreneurs, they got everything straight, right? They got the mindset mostly. They have the systems in place. They have the workload. They know what to do, the checklists.
Yeah.
But there's still stuff inside of them that is like, it's that undeservingness or whatnot.
Yeah. Being held back.
Yeah. And you think about, not everybody that gets to the top is unhappy. I think there are so many, there actually are. Yeah, there are so many happy people at the top. It's a complete myth. But you see this.
Happy or something. Well, yeah.
Yeah. But you see like the Zappos guy. Gosh, his name is slipping my tongue right now.
Yeah. The leader of the Zappos company, I forget his name, but
and he wrote this amazing book about achieving happiness and everything. He was like on drugs and addiction the last months of his life, and maybe years even. And that just gives me such a burning passion for people in a leadership position, because where do we go? Who can we share this stuff with, and how can we get those things released when we're in that position?
Yes.
And so we get to the top, and we also get to experience happiness and peace and flow up there.
Yes. So it's so possible. It doesn't have to be if this then that, meaning something negative will happen. It can be this and that, and we really can. But again, like we're talking about, our mindset will keep us from these things. I was just working on this with a client this week about, she's like, I am afraid as my income increases, I feel like as if health or someone's going to die, some calamity is coming. And it's not true, or unless you keep projecting that expectation out there. And then you're like surprised when exactly what I feared comes around. Yeah. But that's what I love about, like you're saying, lining up leaders, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And even, as we're talking, we have a heart to find those people that you are poised for it, but you just don't know exactly. You've had it for a long time in your heart, but you know there's still some walls to break through, and got to get through those subconscious walls.
That's right.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? If you were interviewing you, is there something else that you would be like, ask me this, or
man, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Unless somebody on here has some questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you guys have any questions, if you're watching, would love to hear. But it's exciting. It's just been amazing seeing how this year is so different.
I know. I've been thinking about it so much. I'm like, dang, this time last year, I was really struggling. And even the peace of my home is totally different environment.
Yeah.
Like my kids, everything is just, I wish I could take a snapshot for everyone and just like show you, this is what my life looked like a year ago, and today it's completely different. I can't even believe it's miraculous.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
It's like, how did that happen?
But it has been, and I just honor you for, it's been one, in a sense, a test of faith after another. Because every time you would invest in sessions, that was huge and painful at times, where you're like, I've got to stick with the emotion code. This is going to shift things. And that is huge when you make that choice over physical possessions.
Yes, actually, that's something I might want to ask myself, because
I know. Do you want to?
Because you know what? Like I said, working 4 jobs just to put food on the table. Guys, I did not have a pair of shoes without holes in them. I had 1 pair of sneakers, and they had holes in them. I had 2 pairs of jeans, and they both were like ripped up, had holes in them. Like, you're getting teary-eyed.
I know. It's just cute. It's amazing. I didn't know this, of course, when we started.
Yeah. You know what? that was another thing. I just kind of took the leap. Like, I didn't really have the money. I didn't go into debt over sessions. Like, somehow the money, like, I was nervous about spending the money on the sessions, but I was like, okay, you know, this is what I need to do now. And the money just came back to me. It was just there for more sessions. And as I continued to move forward, you know, I was like, well, I need more. Like, want to do more. I am so, if I could write a letter to myself a year ago, that's what I would say to myself, is like, hey, past self Joy, this is future self Joy a year from now. Hey, listen, go for it, invest in yourself. You can't even believe what's about to happen for you. Just trust me, just do it. Because I really was like strung. I didn't go out to eat, no extras. We did not have extras, like nothing. And I'm not saying all that to like encapsulate that and like hang on it, but just to say, you know what, it's really not about the money. Like, when it comes down to it, it's not about the money. And it's actually, when I got people that tell me, well, I can't afford that, what I hear is, I don't want to prioritize affording that. So, you know, no judgment, but I see people, you know, buy lots of stuff and the new stuff for their house and everything, but there's something inside that is missing. And it's like, we can fill our lives with so much trips, furniture, clothes, whatever it is, thinking that it's going to do something. We go external. We do external stuff, shifts to try to like think that it's going to make everything better in here. Actually, it starts with what's inside.
Exactly.
And then it manifests from there.
Exactly. It's total transformation. And that I keep thinking about as we're going up to Christmas, and it's like, I'm a bit of a minimalist. I don't care for consumerism anyway, but when it comes to giving gifts, if you could give a gift that will help you connect with your spouse more, if you could experience less pain potentially in your body, these sort of things, to me, it's like the ultimate gift is getting, and that's the gift you kept giving yourself, which was huge, and ultimately every other person in your life as you were doing those sessions. I hope that this year has woken up every one of us to what matters for you, what really matters. Because to me, all this is gone in a minute, at any minute. I've just had too many times of things being totally stripped away, and then you're like, okay, what's the substance that's here, and who is she, and what does she want, and can she pull her life back up from here? And I feel like this has been such a year for all of us to get clear on what that is. Do we want interconnected relationships, or do we want to look through screens, spend all our time living vicariously through here? Because in the days ahead, I think it's going to become more clear. And that was one other thing I was going to ask you about, is moving forward, as we're moving into the future, and you see things like the emotion code and all these other modalities coming up, what do you see happening? Like, we're in the midst of this COVID situation. What do you see that can help us move forward? What's a bigger perspective here?
Yeah, for sure. I actually, seeing a lot of the energy healing modalities popping up, it makes me think that there's something really big coming, you know? 2020 has actually been an incredible year. I mean, I know people have suffered a lot of loss. There's also been so much gain. So, you know, I've seen people posting about how many businesses closed this year. I want to see the numbers on how many businesses opened this year.
That's a great question.
Because I know a lot of people that have started businesses this year, and they're killing it. They're killing it.
That won't be on the news, y'all.
No, it's not going to be on the news.
But it's true.
It's true.
But also, I was going to say, we surround ourselves with optimists.
Yeah.
Those who are launching businesses, you can't do that from a pessimistic perspective. You cannot drag your all the doubts and fears into a new business. You
are what you eat, y'all. What you put in, what goes in the well comes up in the bucket.
It's
you know.
True. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, it's all good. Yeah, no, I think Big things are coming. Big things are coming.
Yeah.
The fact that we're able to, look, we launched a man to the moon over, how many years has it been? 60 years?
Yeah.
No, 50 years this year? What year are we?
Yeah.
Anyway, 50 years. 50 years as of last year, okay? It's been 50 years. We put a man on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
How much more are we able to do on Earth?
Yeah.
That's where I see with the energy healing, it's like, whoa, like we can do stuff with this thing,
Yeah.
you know, that I think, again, is like laser focused prayer with skill. That
Yeah.
requires a little skill. But yeah, I think we can really, there's so much possibility. We
Yeah.
can heal ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically. Physically, we can heal ourselves through energy.
It's true. It's true. I almost like hesitate as if it's scandalous to say or something, but I get it that people don't believe this until they experience it, and I understand that, you know, but these things are possible, and you may need to hear these voices, our voices start to say, you can heal. It is possible. There are more dynamic and unconventional ways that I don't know. Sometimes it feels like ancient things being rediscovered, but it's definitely the future of healing at large is going to be outside of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if someone from 100 years ago came into our medical situation now, they would be in shock. Because it's so unusual and different than where they were. And 100 years from now, we're going to think our methods are so primitive.
Yeah.
We're going to, maybe 10 years from now, we're going to be like, what on earth were we thinking? But this is part of our growth altogether.
It is. I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's that?
So you're a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
What has emotion code and energy healing done for your faith?
That's a great question. It initially rattled my faith a lot because, one, I was told, as a good Christian and as a missionary, I've been all over the world in missions work. I was told, okay, energy healing's not of God, all these things. There were a lot of red flags for me around this concept. And I was already in a place of, okay, God, open up my eyes to things that I don't yet understand. As awkward as it might be, I want that. My heart was open. So it was just open enough to start to go down this track. And to me, it felt like him leading me through one aha moment after another of like, oh, you're not in my box. No. It was safer when I thought you only worked this way. You know, like, oh, again, no, wait, you're not allowed to be out there, God. In a sense, you know, like.
Shaping God yourself.
Yeah, we've done a lot of that. Yeah. Where we're like, wait a second, you're freaking me out here. We're not supposed to go there. And yet, I felt like this has only created a much more depth of intimacy and clarity of who God is, who I am, the intimacy that is all of us connected, a more divine connection globally with among all of us, and then just that awe of, just like when you dig into science about an animal or a way a plant works and you're just like, this is amazing. That's how it's felt, because it hasn't been all mystic stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, there's like legitimate science behind this. It's not just airy-fairy stuff. It looked that way on the front end. That's why I was freaking out, but it's only gotten really deep. And I don't know that everybody wants to go there, because it's easier if we've got a faith that is, we're being fed. If we're being spoon-fed what to think and what to believe versus really taking our beliefs for a deep test drive. And wrestling through those things. And that's what I did. A lot of wrestling and a lot more clarity.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot more peace, a lot more freedom. Almost. And that's what I've only found. I could go on and on. I start to get my preacher on here.
I like it.
That's what I start to see about God as a bigger picture. Is there is a degree of scandalous freedom that comes with total love. When we're in so much love, it just saturates us into a place where there's no fear. This concept, when we're in that saturation of love, then we're not afraid to be led into new arenas. We're not afraid to face a giant we've never wanted to take on before.
Can you repeat that? The love and freedom. What did you say?
Just that when we're saturated with love, it almost brings us into a scandalous freedom.
The scandalous freedom.
Because freedom to those that are in bondage is offensive. No, get back in here. Get back in the pen. Wait a second. You dancing there just feeling loved and enjoying life? Like, no. It's hard work. It's a hard work. We have to be tough Christians. I'll go on and on here, but no, get back over here. You gotta recite some scripture before you can be that happy. Like, those things, when we come into freedom, then it's like the joy overcomes the points where people are going on and on about the shoulds from the past. You're just like, oh, I love you, but I hear what you're saying, and I used to believe that too, but there's so much freedom in here. I can't even try to keep whipping myself with my should. I need to do that.
Whipping with my should.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
I need to. There's been a lot of that in some of my past Christian experience, and I love that version of me. She was wholehearted and all in, and I love this new version, even if I don't even know how to define her.
You're wholehearted and all in still.
Yeah.
You are.
So good.
Yeah, but it's just, in a freer way. I just love that, like, the picture of freedom. And, I mean, of course, we all, energy healers, would love to, I'd love to stick to my theology. Like, everything inside of this list
it works
of
like this.
theology, and it's like, well, snap.
Yeah.
I just learned something or experienced something that doesn't quite fit into that. So what does that mean? Either the theology is completely wrong, God is wrong, either I'm not a Christian anymore at all because I don't believe that, or maybe there's more to God than we thought.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like this is highlighting a bigger thing.
Yeah.
We should do more chats like this, Joy. I feel like we're onto something. Because overarching in our society right now, this freedom and love versus control and fear. I just would, if I could encourage everybody to tune into that, to start to become more aware and start to think about what is creating more fear and anxiety, and what's in a sense of I need to control, and where am I feeling and experiencing more freedom? Because the fullness of God, of, you could say, divine energy, of love, brings us into a place of more freedom, and even though, again, it can be scandalous to those that are like, same concept, in bondage, or no, these kind of things. But let us go towards what is like freeing and loving, and in every arena, right, of our lives.
That's right.
Anyway, we've gone for over an hour, so
awesome.
It's just so fun chatting with you. I'm so grateful to get to hear your story again and share it with you guys, with all of you, because it's powerful. Your experience is so powerful, and I'm excited to watch and see what's coming.
Thank you so much,
year.
Joanna.
So, my pleasure. So, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to Joy or I. This is an exciting time we're living in. Things are outside of all our boxes. I kind of like being outside my box.
I like it a lot.
This is where the exciting things happen.
Yes, it is.
Every disruption's an opportunity if we choose to see it.
That's
see
right.
it. So,
yeah,
that's
right.
Well,
good stuff.
Maybe we'll be back another day if you guys would like to hear more from Joy and Julie. They let us know, but we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye for now.